SEC rejects VanEck spot Bitcoin ETF. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has rejected a proposed effort to list a spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund. The agency, which regulates securities markets in the U.S., had previously punted its final determination on VanEck's proposed fund. The most recent delay took place in September, setting the stage for a final deadline of November 14. The SEC rejected a proposed rule change from the CBOE BZX exchange to list and trade shares of VanEck's Bitcoin Trust. Specifically, the SEC said any rule change in favor of approving the ETF would not be designed to prevent fraudulent and manipulative acts and practices nor protect investors and the public interest. This order disapproves the proposed rule change, the SEC said in its notice, published Friday. The Commission concludes that BZX has not met its burden under the Exchange Act and the Commission's rules of practice to demonstrate that its proposal is consistent with the requirements of Exchange Act Section 6(b)(5), in particular, the requirement that the rules of a national securities exchange be designed to prevent fraudulent and manipulative acts and practices, and to protect investors and the public interest. The regulatory body had a maximum of 240 days to approve or deny the offering following its publication in the Federal Register on March 19, giving the SEC until November 14 to make a decision after extensions on April 28 and September 8. Industry expert Bloomberg senior ETF analyst Eric Balchunas said the SEC was highly unlikely to approve the VanEck fund given its track record of denying offerings from investment firms with exposure to crypto, a prediction which ultimately came to pass. The SEC addressed the inconsistency with not deeming CME a regulated MKT of SIG size in spot denial, but then approving futures ETFs, said Balchunas. It's such a good point, but SEC doesn't care. Not having it. Basically, logic and reason are trumped by technical legality. Though the rejection may be a blow to many investors, the SEC has already approved ETFs linked to Bitcoin futures contracts. In October, shares of digital asset manager Valkyrie's and ProShares BTC Strategy ETF launched on U.S. stock exchanges. ProShares ETF has since risen to the top 2% of all ETFs in terms of total trading volume, roughly $400 million worth of shares traded on November 10. That rationale echoes the agency's thinking when it shot down a proposed Bitcoin ETF from Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss several years ago. At the time, the SEC said that market manipulation concerns needed to be addressed before a spot product could be approved. Friday's decline comes soon after the SEC cleared the runway for ETF products centered around Bitcoin futures. In recent comments, SEC Chair Gary Gensler had expressed openness toward Bitcoin futures-based ETFs as opposed to spot ETFs. Russian lawmakers prepare law with a focus on the Bitcoin mining industry. Russia's legislative leader has asked the new working group to focus on cryptocurrencies, with special attention to the rapidly growing local Bitcoin mining industry. On November 11, Vyacheslav Volodin, the chairman of the State Duma, directed his deputy, Alexei Gordaev, to create an intercommittee working group on cryptocurrency, to be headed by Andrei Lugovoy, who had initially pushed the issue before today's plenary session. Lugovoy is the head of the Security and Corruption Control Committee, which is central to his push for tighter controls on the crypto mining industry. Since China's blanket ban on crypto, the United States, Kazakhstan and Russia have taken the podium as the biggest contributors to the Bitcoin network's hash rate. While Lugovoy proposed the legalization of crypto mining in Russia, which currently occupies a legal gray area, he also objected to Russian miners not paying taxes on their earnings, which he put at $2 billion per year. Lugovoy also said that he had legislation already prepped to address these issues, but was not clear on when he would introduce it to the Duma. As the Russian mining industry grows, more official entities are expressing interest. It recently came to light that regulators were considering a proposal from Russian oil and gas giants allowing them to mine crypto using flare gas. These considerations seem set to accelerate the consideration of a long-pending law addressing crypto trading and payments within the country.